Metal Gear Solid 5 tips and tricks video. Whee! It's so fun! Alright, this is Dash from Ninja Land Games with a tips and tricks video for Metal Gear Solid 5. First off, I've been really enjoying Metal Gear Solid 5. It's a lot of fun. I really like the systems that are going on in this game. Collecting, building up your mother base, and sneaking is some of the best I've ever seen in a video game, but... Alright, so first up, we got the movement in this game, or I feel like the controls are really good. Once you learn how to use them well, just, as you go on your first couple missions, they kind of explain the different controls as you go. One of the key movements in this game is crawling and ducking, and one really good tip is to move a lot faster, and to stay in stealth mode is to dive a lot. You can actually rapidly dive if you press the square button. It's going to dive Snake around. And if you immediately go back up into the crouch position, you can immediately dive once again. It's a really good way to make a lot of quick movements if you need to get it out of the way of a guard that's trying to spot you. I have a couple examples here. For all these tips and tricks, I'll have some good example video that you can see. Next up is the box. The box you can use for a lot of variety of things. First off, it will absorb a couple hits from opponents. It's a good way if someone sees you to just get out of the view of a guard, but then you can pop out of the box to surprise people. But one thing you can also do is at the beginning, as I explained, is you can put a poster of different pictures on it, and you can stand up, and you can also dive and slide down hills with the box. It actually can make you move pretty quickly. It's kind of a fun little item, not necessarily used in every mission, but it can be fun to play around with. Another thing that you can do with the box is you can actually quick travel. Okay, so the other equipment you start the game off with is the tranquilizer gun. One thing that's really good with this is to sleep chain attack enemies. So you knock one enemy out, another enemy will come up and see him asleep, and then you turn it and you knock that one out. I'll show a video right here of how to use that. It's a really powerful technique if you chain your shots. Remember that the gun only shoots one shot at a time, so you have to make sure that shot is a good shot. Make it if you headshot them, it'll put them to sleep immediately. Alright, next up is the Bionic Arm. Bionic Arm is a really quick way to stun a bunch of opponents fast. I actually found it out to be, it's probably one of the fastest ways in the game to knock out a group of opponents. When you stun someone, they actually stay knocked out longer than if you put them to sleep. So stunning is actually really good. So here's some video of me knocking out people and how to do it. The trick to this is you gotta do the Bionic Punch while you're running. You press R2 and it will Bionic Punch. And when you do the Bionic Punch, you gotta press it a little bit ahead of time before you make it to the opponent. If you do it too late, then you'll go into an animation where Snake basically punches them multiple times to knock them out, or you'll throw them to the ground. But if you do it early, you'll get that Bionic Punch animation, which you can actually chain over and over again to knock opponents out really quickly. A great way if you've already been spotted, or if you suddenly become spotted and you want to just knock out a whole group of people. It's a great way to do that. Alright, eventually when you develop your mother base, you're going to get different weapons, and I always went with non-lethal weapons, and you look for the stun weapons that you get because those are going to be able to help you knock out opponents and turn them into staff by Fulton lifting them out. The stun weapons are really powerful in this game, and so you want to look for those. One of the early ones you get is a Riot SMG because the first 15 shots on this weapon have suppression, so you will not be heard by your opponent. So you want to make sure you use those first 15 bullets really sparingly, and you want to make sure that you keep track of your suppression because it will run out pretty quickly. But when you get into the slow motion effect, when a guard spots you, you can just knock out whole groups of enemies. I'll show a couple videos here about that too. So yeah, it's a very powerful weapon. Look out to develop that one as fast as you can. As I mentioned, you want to capture as much staff as you can. Early on in the game, you might think, oh, I'm already getting full on my staff. So you want to just upgrade your facilities even more, but eventually you're going to get to the point where you can get so much staff. You really want to just keep getting staff and get into good habits of how to capture staff and whatnot. Also, another great way to get staff is to do the combat deployment missions. Eventually your parachute, your Fulton extractor, is going to get powerful enough to get tanks and other jeeps and other kind of vehicles. Look out to get on certain levels, you'll go up against tanks. You can actually Fulton lift those out. instead of fighting them. So you just lift them out before, in order to stun them, you just shoot them with a rocket or get them to stop, and then Fulton lift them out as fast as you can. Another really cool thing with the box that not a lot of people probably figured out was you can get onto a little tray container and you can do a quick travel. And this quick travel is going to help you out a bunch just to get to where you need to get to fast. It only lets you kind of quick travel between the main kind of hub areas in the game. But in order to do that, you actually have to collect, you have to find first off the platform to sit on in the box. But you also have to collect the ticket that's next to it, and so you can only get delivered to the different ticket areas you found. It's kind of like a method that you have to kind of collect the checkpoints. Okay guys, this is a really helpful tip for you here. In the game, there is obviously your missions that you have, and in order to complete those missions, you have to fully complete the objectives, and then most of the time you have to call in a chopper and get airlifted out. Well, in sub-ops, right when you complete the sub-op, the game saves, and so if you die or do anything, the sub-op is still completed, and so right when you complete it, your stuff gets transferred to Mother Base, and so you can use that to your advantage to kind of stack the stuff you want to collect, and then complete the mission, and it will automatically save for you on the actual missions that you do. It will only save at certain checkpoints between areas, and you can kind of figure those out. And you can use those to your advantage to collect things and then check it out. But one really good tip to you all is to save a lot of time on a sub-op mission. You can press the touchpad. Basically, you get into the menu screen, and the menu screen lets you return back to your ACC, which is your helicopter. And you can immediately teleport back to your helicopter, and it will save all of the things that you've captured. Right when you do a sub-op, you can just immediately jump back to the helicopter and go out to do another side operation as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching Ninja Land Games. Please like and subscribe. If you found this video helpful, I could really use the support. I'm going to try and get a lot more stuff going here. I'm going to have some cool videos I'm uploading from Metal Gear Solid 5. Also, I'm going to be, when the multiplayer comes out, I'll be covering the multiplayer. I'm also getting into the FOB forward operating bases on Metal Gear Solid, and so I will probably have a tips video coming up for that as well. And if I find any other advanced tips, I'll get those to you guys too. The main thing was with this one, I wanted to keep it in the kind of beginner's basic range. I didn't want to spoil anything for anyone, so I just want to keep it giving you tips on what you should look out for. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you hear your comment, or if you have any questions, please comment below, and I'll do my best to respond back to you. And have a great time.